Hi everyone! The mailman was super nice to me again this week and dropped off another package from Amazon, and so I have another Oracle card deck to unbox for you guys. Today it's going to be the Heal Yourself reading cards, and I'm really excited about these ones because they are all about transformation. And since my work is all about transformation, a lot of the readings that I do for clients is all about transformation, I have a feeling that this deck is going to find a permanent place in my usual rotation. So without any further ado, I'm going to take you over to my reading desk and we're going to open this baby up. And as always, if you stick around till the end of the video, I am going to do a reading for the entire community, asking for some guidance and a message that we all need to receive today. This deck was created by Ina Segal and it's published by Rockpool Publishing. And I really like the case it comes in. It comes in one of those magnetized cases. And it has the guidebook, of course, and the deck. Now, typically I like to take these out of the box. As much as I like the fact that it's got a magnet and it closes and it's really high quality, I don't typically keep the boxes just because I find they're too big and bulky, and I prefer something a little bit smaller, so I'm probably going to discard the box, as nice as it is. Now, as you know, if you've ever seen one of my unboxing videos before for a deck, the first thing that I do before I even look at a single card, and this takes a tremendous amount of self-restraint, by the way, but I like to do it in this order. I really like to read the guidebook first because I want to get a really good understanding of what the author, the creator of this deck, intended. Oh, and right off the bat, it's a real surprise to me that the book itself is in full color. Normally these are black and white. The pages are really thick, they're a little bit glossy, but the color really surprised me. And it looks like the entire book is in color, and yep, it's got a full color representation of all the cards, which is really nice. The book offers some spread suggestions as well as some other suggestions as to how to best use the cards, which I really like. And then, of course, there's all of the interpretations. I really like that it has a full color image of the card, and then it has the description of the card, the interpretation of the card right here, and then it actually has some action steps for you to take, and I love this. Typically when I work with Oracle cards, and I work with Oracle cards daily, I like to pull a daily card, a daily tarot card, and a daily Oracle card, and then I like to create my own action or intention for that day based on the card. And this is going to make my life so easy because I can just read through and see if there's an action here that resonates with me, that feels powerful and feels like something that's in alignment with what I want from that day. So now that we've looked at the guidebook, let's have a look at the cards. The imagery here is so powerful and so beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous. Now, I'm sure it's not going to resonate with everybody. It is a very stylized type of art, but it's something that I really particularly love. And I really like that it also encompasses some more shadowy or darker themes that some of us are really afraid to get into. I like that it doesn't shy away from having us think about our sexuality, for example. Sadness, so beautiful. I really like how feminine this deck feels. I resonate very deeply with feminine energy and the feminine divine, and this feels like such a good one to tap into that kind of energy. What an interesting image for pride. This half skeletal face, I would have expected something like death, but pride for this image is very interesting to me. Procrastination, that's a really good one. Definitely one that I can relate to. One I wish I didn't relate to as much as I do, but I really do. How teachable are you? Pay attention to signs. I also like that it's not just one word, so you can have something that's one word like sexuality back there. And then you've got this one, which is more of a bit of guidance that you're getting immediately. Pay attention to signs. It's almost like the deck is telling you what to do before you even get to that action step in the book. Take off your masks. Victim consciousness, such a good one. Rejection. We all feel it. We all have to deal with it repeatedly. Soulmate, beautiful. Wild, oh, I love this one. Inner child, I love this deck already. I am just so over the moon with the imagery here and also the messages. Beauty, Say what you mean. Temptation. Have faith. Patience. Patience is my word of the year for 2018, and I haven't actually come across it in an oracle card deck before, so I love that this card exists. I think I'm probably going to grab it and put it on my altar right away so that I can be reminded that this is my intention for the year. My intention is to have patience, that good things take time, and just to remember that and not try to rush everything like I typically want to do. Self-love. Alchemy, I love that word. Letting go. Help from above. Discover your life purpose. I'm so passionate about this one, and it is so much of the work that I do, so I love seeing it come up here. Courage. Unleash your creativity. Yes. Phoenix rising. Sexual arts. It's interesting that we've got 2 cards in this deck that deal with sexuality. And the original one that we saw, I think, is very much reflective of the inner self and the work that we need to do to be okay with our own sexuality. And then you've got sexual arts, which include other people and how we communicate those arts and how we communicate that part of ourselves with others. Entrapment. Home. Hole in the soul. This imagery of the skeletal parts and the whole being keeps coming up, and it's, again, really interesting and really resonates with me. It's a very powerful deck. Just from flipping through it, I get that feeling. So I'm just going to shuffle these cards, and then we're going to do the community reading I talked about. The cards are pretty big. They're a little bit difficult to hold, but I don't mind that so much. I like that there's so much space for the beautiful artwork in each card. So I'm just going to ask for some universal guidance for all of us, and I want to tap into the message that we all need to hear today. And hopefully whatever comes through will resonate with you on some level. I know you can't see them, but I have my candles burning, I have my incense lit. I'm all set to do this reading for all of us. Oh wow, and the card that came through is rejection. This was one of the cards that I paused on when I saw it because it instantly hit a chord with me. I think very often we think of rejection as something that we need to avoid in our lives, and most of us will do whatever it takes to avoid rejection. But avoiding rejection altogether is impossible. It is just not something we can ever do. Rejection finds us in some way or another, whether it's from a romantic partner, a job that we apply for that we don't get, or even just putting ourselves out there, say on social media or YouTube. Somebody is going to have something unkind to say, and that too is a type of rejection. We feel it all the time, this deep rejection of who we are, especially in this day and age when we put ourselves out there so much more than we ever used to before. In the past, it used to be that it was only our immediate circles, our neighbors, our friends, our family, our coworkers who really knew us, who really had the power to reject us. Now, with the advent of the internet and the fact that the entire world is so connected, it feels like the opportunities for rejection are so much broader than they ever were before. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the time I feel like I am walking on eggshells when I turn on my computer. I instantly feel myself getting defensive, and it's almost as though I anticipate the rejection before it even happens. Something I've been working on is seeing rejection as an opportunity for growth. Some of you know this, but I used to work as a romance author. I wrote romance novels for a division of Harlequin, and rejection was just part of the process for me. I would write a book, I would send it out there, it would get rejected, and then it would get accepted down the road. And it was something that I had to learn to look at as an opportunity for growth. Whenever a rejection came in, it gave me the opportunity to look at the book that I had submitted and really think about how I could make it better so that the next time I had a better chance of getting accepted. And so I tried to take that with me into my day-to-day life now as well, so that when I encounter rejection, when I pitch to a podcast or a blogger or ask for some kind of a collaboration or something like that, and I get rejected, I try to look at it as an opportunity to improve, to really step up my game. And I would like to encourage you to do the same. Maybe think about the area of your life where you have recently been rejected and think about how you can use that as an opportunity for growth and further development. I also think there's something to be said for allowing yourself time to get over the hurt, because rejection hurts. We are all human, and it is normal to feel that hurt, to feel that pain and that disappointment. So give yourself the time to feel that if you need to feel it, but try not to wallow in that space where you feel the rejection and you can't quite bust out of that feeling of having been rejected. I also know that when we get repeatedly rejected, the inclination for most of us is to shut down, to put our guards up, to build barriers, to build armor around our heart so that we don't have to experience that kind of rejection again. But when we do that, it also doesn't allow us to heal from the rejection and to learn from it and to grow from it. And like I said before, there's always an opportunity for growth in the rejection. But you can't really feel that opportunity. You can't lean into that opportunity until you've allowed yourself to feel the hurt that comes from the rejection. Once you've been able to move past it, then you can look back at it and contemplate how you can learn from it and how you can grow from it. So don't try to do everything at the same time. If you have just gotten rejected, if you are just now feeling that pain of that rejection, give yourself time to deal with it, to live through it, to live with it. And then as appropriate for you, then you can move on from it and really start to think about what your next step is going to be. And also think about how you can handle rejection better in the future. Maybe you can come up with some kind of an action plan, or maybe you can make a list of the things that make you happy that you can immediately go to in order to lick your wounds. And I'm not suggesting you sit on the couch with an entire container of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, unless you do that very rarely. Once a year, go ahead and eat all that ice cream, but that can't be your coping mechanism on a regular basis. However, I do think it's really important to have those coping mechanisms, to know what it is that you need when your heart's been hurt, when you feel rejected. So I'm just going to bring out the guidebook here to see what the creator of this deck intended with the rejection card. So I gave you my interpretation. Her interpretation is very similar. It talks a lot about how feeling rejected can disconnect you from your heart and soul, how it can immobilize you, and how it's really important to keep your heart open and trust that you have learned from your experiences and you will not make the same mistakes again. Now let's look at the action step, because this is the one that I was really most excited about. So her action step for the rejection card is to take a pen and paper. On one side of the paper, write down what you're afraid of, especially in terms of being rejected. On the other side, record how you can use rejection to succeed, and then take action with confidence that rejection can be your friend. So very much what I was talking about, looking for those opportunities for growth in the rejection, and then using those opportunities to learn from what has happened to you, so that if you encounter this kind of scenario in the future, you'll be much better prepared for it. I hope that this reading resonated with you. I know that it struck a lot of chords for me, and it was very much what I needed to hear today, so I hope that it did the same for you. I'd love to hear what you think of this deck, what you think of this card, what you think of the reading. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.